I've been testing out iPadOS 16 for a couple of weeks now, and I have some thoughts about it. Now, understand, at the time of this recording, it is still in developer preview, and everything I talk about in today's video has already been announced. I'm not disclosing anything that is considered confidential, so keep that in mind. iPadOS 16 is kind of interesting in a couple of different ways. It is closer to macOS now than it ever has been, with features like Stage Manager, having the ability to undo send in messages, and having a full-fledged weather app, as well as some enhancements to inbox apps like Files, Mail, Calendar, things like that. It is a welcome update for the iPad. And if you have an iPad Pro or an iPad Air with an M1 chip, you get the enhanced features like Stage Manager. Stage Manager in and of itself is perhaps the most interesting feature to me as someone who likes using his iPad as a primary computing device. I don't use a computer anymore. The whole saga on the computer issue, I'll talk about in another video, has come to an end. I don't even use the server that's actually behind me because, to be truthfully honest with you, most of the work that I do can be done on an iPad. And with Stage Manager, you can kind of not quite position your windows anywhere, but close enough to the point where it actually helps me be more productive. And with the ability to use a second display for what it's actually intended on being used for, just makes it all that much better. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about all the features that were announced, but overall, in terms of the initial experience with iPadOS 16, it has been pretty solid, with some bugs, but that's to be expected in this early of a release. One thing I did want to note is there are some features that are in iOS that are not in iPadOS. For example, the lock screen got somewhat of a refresh, but the customization options are not available on the iPad. And when the public beta comes out, I'll talk a little bit more about each feature that is important to you guys. But I want to know from you guys, what feature were you most excited for in iPadOS 16?